Going on, fellas?
Hello,
Going
hello.
on?
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Hometown Hawks. Joined by Sensitive Jesse and Rick. He could not join us because he is busy. He's at a wedding. Big shout out to Cassie and Trav on their lifelong venture here.
Yeah, congrats, guys. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Suckers. Congratulations, guys. We love you.
Wish we could be there, but uh,
Yeah, it is what it is. But we'll have some special stuff for you guys when next time we see you. Um, yeah, let's get into it. This is going to be episode number 2 for us. So I think last episode we covered what we were going to be or I guess what we expected from the Hawks during the game, right, and kind of what we got. Just as a little recap there, do you guys want to share kind of um, what last game was like for you guys, what you expected or what you expected more?
yeah, I'll take it here. I was expecting more on our ground game. I was expecting us to just be able to run that ball left and right, up the middle. Uh, as you can see, that wasn't our strongest points. We were more effective on the pass. Our O line they graded up pretty high on the pass protection, not so much the ground and pound. I mean that was my major letdown, I guess, from the first game. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Yeah, for me, like I said, in the last one, I thought that Caleb Johnson was going to be our big star coming into that game. Like I said, like you said, for the rushing, I think he had 19 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown for us in that game, which is great. But yeah, we started off really, really, really well. First quarter, 2 touchdowns right away. Uh, Seth Anderson 36-yard pass from McNamara right away, and then on the second play, and Eric All with a 3-yard touchdown pass catch, great. And then kind of just went stale. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and kind of just to piggyback off of both of you guys pretty much said the same thing that kind of I was thinking. So, yeah, like we said, they kind of started off pretty good in the first half. Whether it be I guess the weather, I think cramping and dehydration, the heat definitely played a factor into some of their plays. Because I know that that was kind of happening all around. In the state, with the Iowa State and you and I, even their star quarterback, Rocco, um, he was looking pretty rough there after a little while with cramping up. But that kind of tends to happen in that kind of heat. But all right, yeah. So that recap, I like it. Right. So let's talk about now what we think is going to be the main goal for this weekend, tomorrow, I guess. Is there something that you guys have heard or listened to as part of Kirk's press conferences or anything like that, where you think he focused this week to try and correct for Saturday against the Cyclones?
Well, like I stated before, as always, game one and week one or week two, your biggest jumps is when you're going to see your biggest jumps from your players. Um, and I guess O line is going to have to be where it has to show. And then, let alone special teams. Special teams kind of weren't playing up to par last game with almost one block punt and almost had two others. And then Torrey still averaged over 50 yards per punt.
Yeah.
But I I think we're just gonna have to clean up a lot of that stuff. Um, especially since Cade can't move much, we're gonna have to, really protect him. He's gonna probably be out of the shotgun more than anything. I can't see him being under center, having to run back 5 yards to hand the ball off, or no bootlegs. As Kirk said, no bootlegs, no
Right.
run, quarterback sneaks.
Yeah. Watching the his press conference, he was like, we're gonna have to manage Cade's his injury, because he said, Cade is sore, obviously. If you're going to be playing a little bit injured, you're definitely going to be sore the next couple days, 2-3 days. But he was practicing. But yeah, he was like, we're going to have to adjust. There's really not going to be a QB sneak. But I think even if they do plan on doing a QB sneak, I think everybody would know if that was coming, because they'd put big number 2 in, Deacon Hill, which that boy, you see him coming in, he's doing one thing and one thing only, and he's running that up the gut. He's only going for 1 or 2 yards. But to go off of that too, Kirk's he's pretty confident in his QB depth chart. He stated that he says those guys have been looking pretty strong, and that he thinks that should their name get called, they're ready to step up and attack that challenge head on.
Right.
Right. So, Sensitive Jesse, what do you think? What do you think the main focus for this week is for Kirk, or what he addressed?
Sounds like, well, it's like maybe not what he addressed, but it's just looking at the stats from the UNI Iowa State game. Looked like their for on their defense, they had 2 picks and 1 pick six. That Jeremiah Cooper, it seems like he was pretty elite for them last week. So, like Henry said, just the offensive line having to hold up and getting Caleb Johnson just going, man. And that's what I feel is going to be the key to victory, because their defensive backs are pretty solid, and then hopefully we can get our receivers wide open. They're going to be doubling down on our tight ends, so hopefully our receivers can make some stuff happen, get open, and Cade has enough time to get a good pass off.
Sure. And listening to Coach Matt Campbell's press conference from a couple of days ago, I think is what it was. He states in there that he's got such a young offense, which sounds pretty similar to what we have, but I think his is just a little bit younger. But he's pretty confident that they're starting to click. He said he was able to see some of that come to fruition last week, but he did highlight a few of their players. He's like, we got good running backs. Of course, their defense, their defense, I guess even off
top 20, top 10 in the country.
Yeah, it always has been too. They've always had a pretty solid defense. They had 0 turnovers last week. So that's pretty solid, and I think Matt was pretty proud of that. Which any coach would be, right. They were +2, right, because they got the other pick six, and I think there was a blocked field goal, maybe, or a punt or something like that. I can't remember. But they also have that star linebacker, Caleb Bacon, right? Who he liked to highlight. He was like this Caleb Bacon dude. He was a walk-on in 21, and he was winning all these lifting challenges, like day in, day out. He was in there just grinding. He was beating beating everyone in the gym, all the starters and everything. Finally he goes, well, who the heck is this guy? It's Caleb Bacon, right? So at the start of the 22 season, Bacon, he's making some pretty decent plays, right? He's making himself known. So this year, he's coming after it he's pretty hungry this year, right? He's still on the grind. So Coach Campbell, he sees that. So of course he's pretty confident in his defense, right? So, and he's pretty confident with Rocco too. He says Rocco's he's pretty poised, but who knows, right? He's a freshman. We got our quarterback. He's going to be a senior, or he is a senior, and he's been there and done it. And as Coach Campbell said, he's been there. He's pretty seasoned. So we got that going for us. Is there anything? Yeah, go ahead.
And back to that So it sounds like they got a young old line. So they're going to struggle probably against our veteran defensive line there. Hopefully, this is where we kind of again, like I said, step up on that game 2 and just kind of push them boys around and stop that run game because we want to force them to pass. Iowa does. I think that's how they're going to win. They're gonna have to stop their run game. As long as they don't have a run game, force them to pass. And we got those great backs, when Wampa and Schulte and Deshaun. Is it Deshaun Lee?
Yes. Yep. Sean Lee.
He almost had a pick at that last game. So I think all them boys will be ready. They're gonna have to. We shut them down. I think we're in the game. I don't see us losing, but it'll be a close. I think they will always play us close. It'll be a close game. So
yeah, and just to add on to that, it sounds pretty much like the game that Iowa State had last week. It's almost really, really similar to like our game, or at least the way that the coaches were talking. During Kirk's press conference, Kirk never really he talks, but he doesn't really say a whole lot. But it sounds like Coach Campbell is like, we need to work on the fundamentals and the efficiency in our offense in order for us to come out ahead. So he's really focusing on that. And part of their one of their huge impact players, I think, for Saturday is going to be Jalen Knoll, who is their wide receiver. And he's also a big punt return guy. Matt Campbell believes that the hidden yards that are there that a lot of people don't take advantage of are on special teams. And he was pointing out Jalen Knoll, that he's able to return the ball pretty well from the punts, and he thinks that he could be a good key. He said the kids, he's a big leader. He was voted as a captain as a junior. And he's going to be a great asset to the team for sure. What are you guys' thoughts on him? What do you think? Are we going to be ready for that?
Yeah. So Iowa State, they've never they just finally hired a special teams coach. They used to have one coach that took care of running backs, special teams, water boys. I don't know if that's fact, but I know they hired a special teams coordinator, and it's starting to show. They looks like their special teams showed up to play last game. It's just crazy how that little, fraction of a game, the special teams is actually big in the college football. It's not so much the pros, but in college football, it's kind of a big part of the picture.
Oh yeah. It's one of those things where you never know. Like, are they going to go 2 yards or are they just going to freaking take it to the house? That's one of the really exciting things about, college football is just the unpredictability of it. And just all the star players, right?
Right.
The people that make it to the next level, right? The 1% of the 1%. And that's what's really cool to watch. Jesse, you got anything?
Yeah, special teams. I know Kirk was talking about it on Hawk Talk the other day about how like one of the opening kickoffs we had was it like a 50 something yard return, right? And it just eliminates a lot of the field, So yeah, it's hopefully we can do that and keep getting pounded into the end zone, man. It's excited for the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, where are you guys gonna be watching the game at this weekend then?
I'll be at
home.
Be at home.
Yeah, I'll be at home watching it. I'll probably throw it up on the projector screen down here in the basement, and then probably on the TV upstairs.
Nice.
But that's where I'm going. What about you?
I'm actually leaving at 4:45 tomorrow morning.
Really?
Heading up the tailgate up at Ames. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
get my TV set up and watch it outside. I'm not going in the game, but sounds like it's going to be a freaking madhouse. With the
I'm sure
President Trump and DeSantis and 2 other candidates that are going to be up.
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah. Trump's never going to be there, so we definitely got to make sure we get that W over at Jack Trice.
Right.
Jack Trice.
Yeah. Well, one other thing, I think where we could capitalize on offense, where the Cyclones kind of struggled last week was. I think where we can capitalize would be, the third downs. Last week they gave up, I think, 3 or 4 third and longs. So whether that, that was because of the heat and their corners were just gassed, I don't know, but I think we have the good receivers there. We should be able to hopefully make some good third down plays.
Yeah. Jesso?
Yeah, because especially what sounds like they got some good running backs over there too. So yeah, we're just definitely gonna need our defensive line to step up, and along with our linebacker Higgins, I think he's gonna be locking up a lot of holes for us. So I think that's a big key right there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
All right, boys.
I think a good battle of the quarterbacks. I think.
Yeah, I was just looking at the comparisons for that right now. Say Cade McNamara last week was 17 of 30 for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then for how do you pronounce that kid's last name for Iowa State?
Breck.
Rocco
Breck.
Bitch. 10 of 13, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. So.
Did they mention that if they're going to go back and forth between him and JJ Cole and
he didn't really mention that. He kind of was, him hauled around it like if some other quarterbacks need to go in, they'd be more than ready. Pretty much the same thing Kirk says. He's like, everybody's ready. So I don't know. He's 10 for 13, you said.
Yep, 10 for 13, 113.
Yeah, and I think the total amount of plays they did was like 45, and they had I think like 250 yards, lowest since like 1966 or something crazy like that.
Right.
That they pull off a W with 45 plays, which
it goes back to that continuous clock that they're running. They're not stopping the clock anymore, and that slow down a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Commercials in. I don't get it.
Yeah,
more commercials, money and.
Yeah, you gotta get that. Gotta rake that money in, right?
Yeah, people want more football, not more commercials.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else you guys want to hit on before I think we wrap this up?
I think we're good. I think hit on the major points here, and we can we can wrap this up from here. Kind of what are your final score predictions for the game? I guess it's a 4-point spread right now. I'll let Jesso take it from here first.
Man, I'm just looking at the matchup predictor right here on ESPN. It has them at a 57.2% chance of winning. So, but even though we're still favored, I don't know, but I think sounds like ESPN's still going with them for this one. But now, 27-14 Hawks.
Gotta get that 25 points, right?
I'm trying. Yeah. I'm trying, man. Yeah. I want.
Yeah, we want it.
Not even for Brian, it's for us. Like that's one thing I was telling a lot of people this past week. Iowa State, they beat UNI, but they beat UNI the way that they're supposed to beat UNI. Unfortunately, we didn't beat Utah State the way that we were supposed to beat Utah State. So like I said, that's my prediction. What I said, 27-14.
I'm gonna go 24-20. Hawks for sure. Which given the history, I don't think it's usually a grind. That game's usually a grind. I'm not for sure the last time it was like a super high scoring game, but I think they just pretty much just battle it out on there because they figure out each other's air plays and ground plays. So they're kind of at a stalemate for a little while, and then they kind of score early on, and then it's they figure it out, and then it's just up and down the field, just running and just going back and forth until it's just field goals and whatever. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty damn close. I think 24-20 is I'm pretty good with that number.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a defensive showing. I think the Hawks come out shooting quick, hard, and just kind of, as always, stall it out and just hope we can hold them there. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably going to 27-7. Just kind of
I like it.
Touchdown, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Hawks show up to play. I think we put up points quick. we'll probably see a defensive touchdown. You know that's always the Hawks way.
Oh hell yeah!
Before we wrap it up, gotta give a big shout out to Nick Brooks too. Kid's been coming to the barbershop for a long time. He moved away for a couple years, but came back. He's playing for Kennedy this year, and he's the number 1 recruited player in the state of Iowa and 136 nationally. 4-star recruit, big offensive lineman, 6'8", 375 pounds. Big boy,
Yeah.
It's a big boy. And like I said,
Yeah.
we've known Tristan Wirfs too, and man, this kid is. It's hard to say that I know somebody bigger than Wirfs, man. It's a great kid, good head on his shoulders. So big shout out to Nick Brooks.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully he does go through with it and plays for the Hawks in 25. That'd be a freaking awesome asset to the line. I think it'd be given whoever the next quarterback is. I think they'd give him all day in the freaking pocket.
Yeah, which is so crazy too. Yeah, he's only a junior in high school too, so he's still got one
Yeah.
more senior season left, and I think he'll see it through. Even with like the whole Proctor deal, like it was.
Yeah, I can't take that
verbally-
heartbreak again.
It was like a verbal commit, but I feel like it was like a different one than what.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we
and-
did.
Yeah, the shitty thing is though that the NIL drives a lot of decisions. Now. So like that's why I said it's cool. I like the verbal commit. But we'll see how that kind of how that plays out. So I'm fingers crossed, right, that it works out. But
We'll have some worse at the barbershop if. I swear to God.
yeah, maybe you can mess his hair up.
Oh,
Maybe you can
like,
mess his hair up or something so he doesn't go anywhere else.
Like Jose just like kind of flinched at him one time, and he Brooks looked at him like, and he kind of like went after Jose, like, oh no, I'm kidding. He's a big boy, man. Like,
Yeah,
but no, shout out to him. Like I
believe
said, he's come to the shop since he was. I don't think he was ever small, but since he was a little guy, smaller than what he is now. But it's cool to see.
Yeah, let him know that we do the podcast, and hell, maybe if he wants to sometime, maybe he
There you
can
go.
jump on, later on, and kind of give us his take on.
Yeah.
Kind of give us his take what he does and what drove his decision and all that stuff. I think it'd be pretty interesting. I think people would like to hear that, kind of because people don't really get the behind the scenes on that kind of stuff. So I'd be interested on it for sure. But that's for a later time.
Yeah, it was just so crazy. He came in today, got lined up before the whole national, like the whole broadcast. It was on 24/7 Sports on YouTube, and everybody was watching, and it was so crazy. He's just so cool, calm, collected. Like I think everybody at the shop was more nervous for him than he actually was.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it when he was on the screen. But no, good for him. Like I said,
that'd be awesome. Awesome.
All right, boys.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining me in another podcast here, and join us back on Sunday. I think we'll do a recap of the Iowa State game. Look for it on your feed, and we'll go from there, boys.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you got any suggestions on what you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. Like it, share it with everyone. Thanks everyone.
Right.
Go Hawks.
I was the first subscriber. Let's go.
Hey,
Hey, go
subscribe
Hawks.
and share, everyone. Go Hawks.
baby.